Oh.
Let's go for it, shall we, Louise? Let's go for it. Well, I can't know what camera you're on. Hello, everybody. Louise, what camera are you on? You on number 2?
That one.
Was that number 3?
I don't know.
No, you're on number 4. You're on number 4. You're on number 4, Louise. There we go.
Okay, here we are.
Oh my goodness me. Hello, everybody. It's one of those days today. Slightly different layout today. My monitor's down here, so I can't really see. If I put it up on top of there, can you see that? I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's put that on top of there, so I can see what's happening, shall we? Oh, right. Good day, everybody. How is everybody doing? There we go. Can everybody hear me? Can hear? How about Louise? Can you hear Louise?
Can you hear me? It's usually me that's the problem.
No, you're never a problem, Louise. You're never a problem. How is everybody today? I have to keep looking at my monitor down here. Let's put my chair. Tell you what, hang on. But you may be wondering, Andrew, what is going on today? Well, everybody, I will tell you what is going on today. Oh, we've been interviewing today, haven't we? We've been interviewing
yes.
for All That Glitters.
Well, we haven't been interviewing for All That Glitters. No, that sounds like we're somehow involved in the production. We're not.
We're not involved with the production. We have been interviewing the participants of All That Glitters. You like my trousers, do you, Chloe? Thank you so much indeed. That's the second compliment that I've had today. The window cleaner said I looked the part.
The part.
And
what
I asked
part
him
is
what.
that?
I asked him what part. What part was that, Colin? And he didn't say. So.
Well, make of that what you will, darling.
Make it that word.
Yeah.
Oh, my dear me. Loving your hair, Romy. Have you had it cut?
I haven't, thank you. But thanks. No, it does need a cut.
I was only thinking today it's getting quite long again, isn't it?
Yeah. It does do that, it grows.
Hair has a problem. It
Yeah.
grows, and what style looks good. And it's like me, when I have my hair cut, it looks awful, and then give it a couple of weeks, and then it looks awesome, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And it covers my bald patch on the top by here.
There's an optimum length for that,
There's an
isn't there?
optimum length to cover my solar panel. Right. How is everybody? Excuse the... Oh, do you know what? The bench is over there. I didn't want to pull the bench in and get rid of the... This is the television, okay? So this is the whiteboard over the television, just so it looks...
I didn't even notice that you'd done that. It's very clever.
It's hanging on there by 2 screws that are just resting on the top. So fingers crossed it's not going to fall.
Let's hope Mrs. Lloyd doesn't make it.
Mrs. Lloyd, yes. Do we need to say anything before we go any further?
I don't think so. We've got our news, haven't we?
We've got
a couple of bits in news.
We got a couple of bits of news for you. What should we start off with first of all, before we start our Q&A?
You're hopefully going to have a lot more
time.
Well, not a lot more, but a little bit more. Some time.
Yes, I need to get more time in front of the camera and filming and so forth. As you most probably have guessed, the focus group that we sort of put together, when was that, Louise? Back in...
Well, it was towards the end of last year, but I was thinking about this the other day, and I know it's getting a bit embarrassing, isn't it? And everyone's asking, but we were a little bit behind, but then it was COVID, and we had to put our efforts elsewhere, just temporarily, didn't we? Just to
keep the business
keep the
going.
shop going, and there was all of that. So that made slowed things down that little bit more. And then we all came back and it was busy. So yeah, I feel like I'm just making excuses now, but it's just been a lot longer than we wanted it to take.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We thought we would have more time when it came to the COVID situation because the shop was shut. But as I said, Louise says we had to divert all our attention to keeping the shop going, which was the main priority, which we did, and we are completely inundated with work at the moment. So the little bit of announcement today is that I'm going to be getting some help on the bench. So it means that I can perhaps spend a bit more time filming and catching up on all those things that I really do need to finish. Okay, so can you guess who is going to be helping us out?
Has anyone got any ideas?
Has anybody got any ideas?
It's not me.
Who is going to be helping us out?
Should we give a clue?
Should we give a clue?
Has something happened to David? David? Oh, I think I've missed some chat. No, it doesn't look like it was very nice chat, so...
Let's have a look.
Oh, got poorly pep. I'm sorry to hear that, David.
Oh, bless. Oh, bless. We do get attached to our pets, don't we, Louise?
Oh, well.
Well, unless it's
It's
Bunny.
not Jason. Jason's already... Oh,
No.
Lee. Penny said Lee.
So, pick... Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well done, Nikki. And who else was it? It's scrolling so fast. I wish... No, I shouldn't say anything like that. So, yeah, it is Lee. Lee is going to be coming over from Pontypool. Pontypool. So please coming over to give us a handout. Yeah, Lee from All That Glitters is going to be coming over to give us a hand, trying to just catch up on the backlog, because the commissions box is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it is just not going down because we're just keeping up with batteries, we're keeping up with straps, and they're resizing. So that is one bit of news, that we've got Lee coming over, Lee Appleby from starring in All That Glitters. Don't forget, 8 p.m. tonight. What is it again, Louise? Say it into the camera.
Oh, no, you put me on the spot now.
And you can catch BBC Two.
BBC Two's All That Glitters is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and it's available to watch on BBC iPlayer.
I think we've got it off pat now. So
Not Sean Lean. No, that would be,
no,
nice,
we wouldn't have him.
Oh, we would?
No, we wouldn't.
I mean, happy with Lee, I don't know, don't get me wrong, but...
Yeah, so...
I love, have you seen, I saw on Lee's Facebook, the little heart, like, that's the thing, I'm going to be like, make me this, make me this, make me this. I'm not going to get any other work done.
Make it for the
make
shop.
Me one of these.
make it for the shop, why not? So yeah, so Lee's coming over to give us a hand. Excellent. He's a good guy. He was over last week. He spent all afternoon with us. We did an interview with Lee last week. We've done interviews with 5 now of the participants. We've done an interview with Nicola, Naomi, Kim, Lee, and today we did an interview with Tamara, which is absolutely brilliant. Lovely, lovely lady. She comes across so well in an interview. She's completely different to what you see on screen. She comes across absolutely fabulous.
She comes across brilliantly on the screen as well.
I think she's better and not under pressure and just generally chatting.
I think, obviously it's a different environment, isn't it, to just being given a task and told.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. She was a lot.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, she was a lot more relaxed. We've got Sunny later on in the week. We're interviewing Sunny later on in the week, and that means we've only got Dan and Hugo to go.
And it's tonight, isn't it?
And it is
Somebody's
tonight.
going out tonight.
It is tonight.
I wonder who.
I wonder who's going to be going out tonight. BBC Two's All That Glitters airs on Tuesdays.
BBC Two's All That Glitters is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and is available to catch up on iPlayer. How many times did we do that?
So that's the news. There's one other little bit of news, but that's regarding At The Bench, and we'll come to that a little bit later.
I'm so excited about that news.
It is awesome news. Awesome news.
You're going to keep that till the end?
I'm going to keep that to the end. You got to keep watching.
Yeah.
How and when will the interviews be shown, Sandra? Yes, we have to pass them by the participants first, the contestants, the jewelers, to make sure that they're happy with the content. They've all been asked the same questions, and just to make it even and fair so we can actually get their reactions. And then we have to pass it then through the publicist. Then she has to look at it and make sure that is all okay. Then we will then decide what we're going to do with them. Most probably we will put them out on YouTube, I expect.
Yeah.
We'll put them perhaps over a course of perhaps 2 weeks, 3 weeks perhaps.
Yeah.
And perhaps coincide then the last week of it with interviews from those people who are coming towards the end.
We don't
perhaps.
know.
But we don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we thought we were going to be doing. It's a lot harder than what we initially thought because of all the setup and all the editing. We were going to do it live. Thank goodness we didn't do it live because it just wouldn't have been fair.
This says it all, doesn't it? Because we had a sound problem.
We've had so many problems with sound.
This kept coming out, didn't it?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Because of the problems, the sound problems. And we got our questions we're asking here. Nice branded, yeah. So that's what has been going on over the last few days.
Oh my God, still here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Right. Can you hear us? What was that? And Louise is texting and messaging them, can you come back in 5 minutes, we'll try and sort out our sound.
We do know what we're doing, we promise.
We've rehearsed this so many times.
But I can't wait to show everybody. And Naomi was the first, no, not the first. She was one of the first that we interviewed. And I can't wait to show you her interview because I found her really inspiring, yeah. And I just think her approach to learning and development, you can apply to anything.
Yes.
It's just useful to so many people.
Absolutely.
Her advice, and I just can't wait to show you.
Yeah, so that's coming up. Right then, Louise. It's
right
Monday.
Then, Andrew.
It's right then, Louise. Right then, Louise. Okay, it's Star Wars Day. It's May the 4th. It is time for our question and answer hour and a bit. So may we have our first question, please, Louise?
Yeah, you waffled a bit, didn't you? Okay. Mary Ann has watched a video of a jeweller melting metal directly in the ingot. What are your thoughts about this?
Now, the problem I think you're going to have with that is that you've got to heat up the ingot to the same temperature as the gold or the silver, which means that ingot's going to take up so much heat. Was it a steel ingot, or was it like a carbon ingot, or was it a charcoal ingot? Because if it's in a steel ingot, I wouldn't even bother trying. The cost of the fuel to heat up an ingot to the temperature, because as soon as that metal is starting to become molten, it's cooling back down again because of the ingot. If you're melting it in a graphite crucible, not a problem. If you're melting it within a groove that you may have filed within your charcoal block, that's fine. That's not a problem, and lots of people do that. So that would be my my reply upon that. Steel ingot, I wouldn't even bother trying. We've got the Smith's little torches that would just take up so much heat up that ingot mold. It really wouldn't bother. It clumps as it cools. Yeah, exactly. You heat it up. Whether you're going to be able to heat it up, you may be able to melt it on the surface, but you're never going to melt it all the way through in the steel ingot mold. So I wouldn't bother. Melt it in the crucible, pour it into an ingot mold. Simple as that. Next question.
Well, I will share with you that Susan has given away her adjustable saw frame.
Well done. And she has replaced it with a fixed one, I hope.
With a new concept.
Well done. Well done. To be honest, I think you've done a bad thing, though, to be honest, Susan.
Oh,
because you should have scrapped it. Let nobody else.
You'd rather transfer the problem there. No,
you've given somebody else an adjustable. The idea, we have to eradicate all the adjustable saw frames.
Somebody can use that.
Eradicate adjustable saw frames. We have to get rid of them, Louise. No, we don't. It's fixed.
Some people like them.
Next question, please. Okay. Next question.
Righto. Lou has been watching all the glitters. They have a compressed air squirty thing. What does it do?
Compressed air squirty thing? It could be a steamer.
Okay, yeah.
I most probably got one downstairs. When Lee came over, he went, oh my gosh, he said, steamer. I love it. Never seen one before.
Cappuccino maker.
Making cappuccinos in there. But yes, it could well be a steamer. And I think it is, actually. That's what I would imagine it to be. Yes. We'll have to look out tonight. Next question.
Yeah, Susan said she mailed it to you. Sorry.
That's coming straight back at you, I tell you now. Right, okay. Next question.
Laura has got a hammer handpiece. Yay. Mm-hmm. What do you recommend I start practicing on?
I imagine you're going to be using it to bezel set. So just simply get some metal, perhaps make up some practice pieces, perhaps make up some very sort of like 5mm, 4mm, 5mm high bezels, solder them onto a plate, get some cheap stones and just practice hitting. But to be honest, there is no reason to practice with it, because if you get the tip, okay, so you can get different anvils that go into the ends of the hammer pieces, and if you get an anvil that is that shape, I have to press very lightly on the board. You can see the board is it's moving. Okay, so this is like a thread. That thread, hang on, I can go to camera number 2, please. Just about see it, yeah? There we go. So this is like the impact area. This is where this screws into the hammer handpiece down here. All right, can you see that very well? You just about see it. It should be a bit brighter. Hang on, let me try and get that little, ecky thump. Let me try and get that a little bit brighter for you if I possibly can. Can we get there? Yes, we can. There we go. Cool. Okay. So what I would do, is get the hammer handpiece. I would then just gently round off these corners a little bit here. So you don't want the corners hitting the bezel as it is being impacted onto the bezel. Just round it off a bit like that, and then just use the face here. I would have it slightly polished, but not completely polished. If it's too polished and too smooth, it's likely to slip off the bezel. So just do that with the anvil, the tip, and if it isn't a wide one and you've got a narrow one, that's fine. You can do exactly the same thing, but just make sure that the tip of it is slightly rounded like that. And that's the way. And if you want to practice, you can do, but to be honest, just get cracking. Just do it a little bit. So again, the usual thing applies. It's exactly the same as bezel setting. Be careful this board doesn't fall. It's exactly the same as bezel setting. Say in an oval, you just burnish on here first, you burnish down here then you burnish there, or you just hammer over slightly and hammer over here. You don't hammer over all the way. So say this is the edge of your bezel here and your stone's in by here. You just do it a little bit so it just comes over a fraction, but not all the way. It's exactly the same way as burnishing by hand, but just doing it with the electronic, with the hammer handpiece. So there, and there. Then I would just gently go round here, round here, round here, round here. Once the bezel's over that little bit, then you can go back over onto these places here, there, and there, and push it further down onto the stone. Don't try and get it all over in one go. Little bit, and then a little bit on either end, and you know what I mean. So that would be the way I would go ahead and practice, but just get on and do it onto the real thing. You should be fine. They're quite forgiving. You don't need to put it at a very high speed either. They say around about 6,000, but just do it so it's going like that. Or you can go really slow and go whatever you want. But that's what I would do. Okay, enough of the sound effects. Louise, maybe have another question.
Yeah. Marin is asking, when soldering more than one wire border around a bezel, do you do it all at once or one at a time? I tried this yesterday and I'm running out of different kinds of
wire borders.
Solder. Yeah, sorry, my cursor was over there, yeah.
I think it depends on your ability when it comes to soldering. I think that if they are, you've got to be careful that the joints come apart. And I think if you have more components to solder in one go, there's more things that you've got to look at. Because around the side of the bezel, say you've got like little balls around the side of the bezel, yeah, and then you may have, perhaps a twisted wire going around the bezel like that. Okay, so say you're soldering that, your eyes have to be everywhere. Your eyes have to be on this, your eyes have to be on this, and I'm not quite sure whether that would be really good for you, because you may think, well, this is not soldered, but this has been soldered, and then you've got to go back to this, but this perhaps may start to melt and so forth. I think what I would be inclined to do would be to solder on the first decoration first, okay? Solder that on first. If it is balls or twisted wire, whatever it is, make sure then that is soldered on nice and neat. Okay, make sure the solder is looking really good. Then apply the next. And what you'd obviously, you'd quench that in the acid, get it nice and clean. You'd then still flux it, and perhaps the plate then is on the outside. Here is your stone here, that's the reflection of the stone. Here's your border going around the outside, and then you would then get your next bit of applied decoration, and if it's a bit of a twist like that. So all you've got to worry about now is this. The balls here are nicely soldered in place. You don't have to worry about this or the solder. You just then have to concentrate on the twisted surround, the next one. And that, I think, is the way that I would do it, because trying to do it all, one wire may be thicker than the other wire. It may take less heat to solder than this heat, but your flame is coming at it it's over in this direction, yeah. Then this wire could well melt before that one has had a chance to solder. So do it one by one, and I think that would be your best, your safest bet. There we go, my television's moving. May we have another question, please, Lou?
Janet just wants a tour of you in your trousers.
Not my trousers?
Yeah.
These were the tamest ones. I was going to put on a really wide pair.
To wear your loud ones next week.
These are my awesome ones. These are the what's the thing to these? Let me shake my legs.
Ben says only English Jews.
Nice. Yeah, there we go. That's what they're like. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I got many more like these. I bought them. I bought them for. We were going to go to New York, weren't we, last March to the MJSA, and I bought all these nice jazzy trousers. And we never went. And then lockdown happened. I didn't get a chance to wear them, so I'm wearing them now.
Grace has just messaged.
Oh, thanks, Grace.
This is Andrew's daughter. You look punk in those trousers.
Thanks, Grace. Grace, my daughter. Come and say hello on the chat, Grace. It'd be lovely if you could. All right, then.
Sick, awesome pantaloons. Okay, should we have another question?
Next question. Thank you, Grace, for that. What a poser. Well, I was asked to show my trousers, so...
Didn't need much persuading.
No.
Okay, Lou would like to ask, as my husband has started making a bangle and he knows plumbing, and asks, why do we cut small bits of solder and not drip feed, I think you'd call it.
Yeah, so you can stick feed. This is what plumbers do when they solder. The difference between, I think, plumbers and jewelers, goldsmiths or silversmiths, whatever you want to call yourselves, is that with the plumbing, you can keep adding the lead solder or whatever solder it is. You can keep adding and adding until you've got enough on the job. The problem when it comes to silver or gold is that you need a specific amount of metal. Sure, you can stick feed, and there's nothing wrong with stick feeding. I see a lot of people do it. But my argument is you don't know how much solder is going on that piece. And that bit of solder costs money. If you put on too much solder, you've got to take it off and it's going to end up in your Lemel. You're going to get a bit of money back, but not as much as what you would do as if you hadn't put it on in the first place. And I always like to put the smallest amount of solder on. You can control the amount of solder, you can control the flow of solder easier if you've got a small bit, as opposed to having your big bit of solder and heating your job up, and you get this and you try and stick feed it in, and I think there's more problems myself with that. And don't forget, the lead solder melts at a lower temperature, perhaps you'll have better control, but when you're talking about silver and gold with stick feed, personally, I wouldn't bother trying. Put on the right amount that you need. You won't have to take any more off and waste it. So that's my argument. Stick feed, you don't know how much is actually going on. And if it doesn't matter, perhaps you're doing the base of a silver bowl or silver teapot or whatever, stick feeding is fine because it's going on there, and perhaps it may be going inside the pot and you can't see it. But when it comes to jewellery, there's always a limited amount of solder you put on. If you put too much on, it's going to get bumpy, lumpy, it's not going to flow. If it goes on the inside of the bezel, the stone won't go in, the stone won't lie flat. So if you use the smallest amount that you possibly need, then you've got less cleaning up, less wastage, and less hassle and problems with stones not fitting in your bezels. That was nice, wasn't it? Okay, Louise, I don't know how your shirt is so white with your hands so manky.
I know, I'm always
manky.
Yeah.
Because I wear an apron. I wear an apron all day. So my apron is always on me. So yes, it is covering me basically all the time. There has been a time, I think it was last week, we were making up some bangles for wholesale for a guy in London, and I had to polish. So luckily I had to change the shirt here, and I put on a blue shirt because my white one started to get really, really dirty. So if I am polishing that day, well then yes, I would not have a white shirt. My hands are pretty clean and I have been working, so I do take care in my appearance and how I look. But thank you very much for noticing. Thank you.
Okay, Gordo is asking, do you have any hints on how to ball sterling wire so it will not wrinkle as it cools?
Yeah, what you want to do is, the problem is it starts to wrinkle because it cools down too quick. Okay, so what you want to do is when you melt your silver down, you put the flame on the silver, it starts to melt. I haven't forgotten about my graphics. The bigger the balls, the flatter your bottoms. We still have to get on with that. If you don't know what I'm on about, just wait for the t-shirt. But then as the ball is molten, just pull the torch back slowly so it cools down slowly. Make sure you've got some borax on the ball as well. So when you have your scrap of silver as you're melting down, there's some borax on it. It'll melt it and give a better surface. Try and do it on a charcoal block because the carbon helps with the atmosphere around the ball, but you need to remove the torch really slowly until it just starts to solidify. And once it has, then you can remove the torch. And it's that slowly moving the torch away cools the ball down really slowly, as opposed to removing it and it cools down quick and then your balls wrinkle. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Penny is asking, can you recommend a cheap home lost wax casting kit? Or a scratch on an emerald.
Scratch on a topaz. I don't think there is such a thing.
Just ignore that then, okay?
as a cheap lost wax home casting outfit, because you basically have to buy all of the equipment. Sure, you can get away with using a certain type of rubber and a toaster to do your vulcanizing of your rubber molds, but you're still going to need some way of injecting wax. You're still going to need some way of melting the wax out of the investment, but not just simply melting the wax out of the investment, but raising it to your 1000 degrees centigrade, so it's bright red hot to burn even the vapors that are left. Then you're going to need your centrifugal casting or your vacuum casting. So unfortunately, I don't think there is such a thing as like a home kit to do lost wax casting. It's still all the, I'll say, professional equipment that is costly. So no, I don't think there is such a thing, to be honest. Sand casting you can do, not a problem, but lost wax is just that next step up, and because of that you need all the equipment. So I don't think there is, I'm afraid, Penny.
Topaz!
And we'll come to that another day.
Right, so you could write it on the board.
I'll write it on my board. All right. They can't see what I'm doing, there we go. Now hopefully, by having Lee over here, I'll be able to get on with these things. You never know.
Excellent.
Excellent. Maybe have another question, please.
Yeah. How far did we get? I think I jumped a bit. Okay, Kristen has bought a classic onglet graver, and it's sharp along the bottom edge. I'm confused because I thought the tip is the only part that cuts. How do I use this safely with the dull edge? Or dull the edge?
What you said, the tip is sharp.
It's sharp along the whole bottom edge. I thought the tip is the only part that cuts.
Okay,
how do I use this safely?
So your onglet will look like that, yeah? And when it comes, how are they then? They're just simply that shape, aren't they? Like that. So this edge here, because you've got this edge, you can't see because I had them on camera. So this is your onglet, okay? This is the bottom, and ideally you should cut it across here and do that. Okay, so that is what you should be looking at. You should, I think someone said, yeah, he talks about shaping the gravers, but he doesn't say how to shape the gravers. You can simply use a stone wheel or a grinding, a grinding stone, something like that, to do that shape. So all that matters is this little area down here. This face is perhaps a third of what it was, but that's all you need. And obviously, because of this edge here is sharp, this edge down here, if it comes to a point, this edge should be sharp as well. Not necessarily all the way along, but as long as the tip is sharp, and this area here has to be highly polished as well. Because if it's highly polished, it's going to leave a nice bright cut on the metal. So it's sharp on the bottom. It doesn't matter if it isn't, but the tip where it is cutting has to be sharp. And also perhaps, I don't know, 1/4 millimeter back, it has to be sharp. The edges down here have to be sharp as well. Polished face on either side, and that is the best way then to sharpen it. Does that make sense? That was the answer. Does it have to be sharp all the way along? It's sharp along the bottom, yeah? And I think that should be it, yeah.
Is that okay, Kristen? Does that...
Yeah, that should be... This is all you need, is this area where it's cutting. You don't need... The problem is...
So why aren't they just supplied like that?
If you buy some of the GRS tools, they are. They're pretty much like that anyway. But if you buy a standard graver, they are just as they come from the company. It's up to you then to decide what you want to do with it.
Does everybody just prefer things a little bit different?
I expect they do, yeah. And sometimes the length is too long and you've got to snap a bit off so it fits in the handle to the right length. So it comes in a standard size, and then it's up to you what you want to do. But if you left it, you see, if you left the whole onglet like this, you have to polish the whole face. Why? We don't need to polish the whole face. It's going to take so much time polishing. And if all you've got to do is concentrate on just polishing this small, you could even go smaller than this, because at the end of the day, all you're doing, you're using this little area down here. That's all you're doing. You're using this area, and it's going to be easier to keep this little face here polished than the whole face. So that is definitely what I would do. You can use like an emery wheel or a stone wheel in a flex shaft. You can use a bench grinder to try and take this. Don't heat it up too much, or don't grind it too much. You must have no colour coming on this tip here when you grind it. So keep putting it in a little glass of water by the side of it to keep it cool all the time. There we go. Maybe have next question, please.
Yeah, Matu, how to set stone on stone?
We were going to do this, weren't we? We were thinking of doing this. You have to have, I think, usually there is a stone that is drilled that enables you to perhaps put a tube into that, and then the other stone then is set into the tube. I think that would be the best way. So you have a stone, for argument's sake, I'll just quickly do this like this. You drill a hole through the middle like that. You then put in a tube that is obviously all the way through, for instance, like this. This is your tube across here. Yeah, so there's your tube going all the way through, and then you undercut it, and then you can set another stone in that tube like that. And you can do this with pebbles. You can drill pebbles, you can drill beach glass. As long as the hole is going through, you can put a nice little bit of a liner going through the hole.
Apologies. Anko's just
Yep.
popped a little reminder here that there's a video on how to fit a graver into the handle, and I was just getting the link for you guys, so I'll pop it on here.
Cool.
Thank you, Anko.
So that's what I think you're talking about, stone. If there's another type of way, just let me know. But that would be the way that I would attempt to do a stone in stone. Stone here, little liner that enables you to perhaps bezel set, or you could do some fancy little claw setting. But that goes then within aside another stone. And there we go, Louise. And maybe have another question. Someone just mentioned about, I think Anthony mentioned about, do I use a tumbler in my jewellery? No, I don't. I've got a couple of tumblers. I've got something like a Law Tone, and I've got another brand as well. I have them, I don't use them. Why? I like to polish by hands. You're going to get a better finish. We've been making up some torque bangles, some about 9mm wide, 1.2mm thick, various different sizes, and that is what we've been doing. The finish has to be perfect. Barrel polish, you will not get a perfect finish. It has to be done by hand, hence the reason why we spend hours polishing a surface, because there's any slight dents. If you look at it, if the light sort of wavers slightly across the surface, it's no good. And a barrel polisher will only do what it does, and that just tumbles. It's got no regard of the surface, it just works on a burnishing action. So on flat pieces, do it by hand, and everything else that we do, we always polish by hand. Barrel polish is great, mass production, or we made up some kilt pins for a guy, I think it was in Ireland a few months ago. We initially barrel polished them, but we then went through them and then triple-lead them and rouged them as well, and we find that produces a far better finish. The barrel polishing was great. It got into the little twists because the wire sort of came around like that, went ooh, like that, round like that, round like that, and like that. And then obviously inside all the coils, yeah, you can polish it by hand, but the barrel polishing got a nice finish on the inside of the coils. Then we did it by hand after that. Sorry, Louise, I jumped a question because I just saw it come up on there. There we go.
Okay, Dana is asking if making a hammered wideband ring, hammer first then solder, or cut small solder then hammer to the right size.
I don't think it matters too much. What you've got to think about is on the surface you've got flat, okay? You have your ball peen hammer. Okay, so this is your hammer. Yeah, over here, this is your hammer. Okay, so this is the area you're going to get, okay, imprinted into the metal. Nothing wrong with it, just doing this for demonstration. If you have a curve, okay, and you use the same ball peen hammer, you're going to get only a smaller area in contact when you hammer. It depends upon the finish that you've got. If you do it on a flat sheet, like this, it is harder to get a good, deep, small dent because the surface area of the hammer here is larger than what it would be in contact with the ring if it was rounded. So you may find that your pattern, the dimpled look, may not be crisp enough, okay? But if you have the ring in its round position like that, and then you hammer, you're going to get smaller, sharper, deeper dents than if you did it flat. Experiment, try it. Make a band like this and then make a band like this. The problem is if you do the band like this on a mandrel, you have to guess how many sizes smaller you're going to have to make the ring, because obviously by hammering, as you quite rightly said, it does stretch the ring and make the ring bigger. So you're going to have to try and work that out for yourself, how many sizes smaller you have to make it. So do some experimental pieces, get some bits of copper, make one like that, make one like that, hammer the hell out of this, and just to see how many sizes big it goes. And then obviously when you come to polish it, you're going to lose a little bit of definition. So I would say make the ring smaller and then hammer it on the mandrel first of all. And don't forget, make sure the ball here of your your ball peen hammer is nicely polished, so your dimples are nicely polished as well.
Okay, Horatia had a problem watching the Wednesday live.
Oh.
All the glitters.
Yeah.
Adverts. Lots of adverts,
Was
75 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Can we look at that?
Yeah, we will go back. YouTube adds the adverts automatically. We did have a few problems with these question and answers, I think. This is the chair making noise. Not me. We did have a problem with YouTube putting adverts within the question and answers, and there was like 6 or 8 within an hour, and that's just far too many. So, okay, we'll make a note. YouTube ads, yeah.
Like every 5 minutes,
or
which
that
is just...
we can remove them. We will take them off. We don't need them within that. It just spoils your viewing. So yeah, I'll make sure they come off and just have them there
annoying,
at the beginning and the start. But thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, thank you,
Absolutely.
Horatia. Okay, let's see what's next.
Yeah, good question, Sam. So you are. Yes.
I didn't read a question.
But good question. What Jason has done a couple of times when he's come to doing this, instead of using a ball peen hammer, he's used a doming punch. And he's hammered the doming punch like about a 3mm doming punch. And he's done that. He's bang, bang, bang. And he's done it up onto a ring. And that, really, that's Lady Before Christmas. Louise. We did the 2 bands, gents and ladies bands. Delivered
She loved that.
She absolutely loved it. And the pattern was crisp as anything, wasn't it?
Because, it was awesome. He was so proud of it as well.
Was Jason or the man who had it?
Both of them.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I'm lucky I just get to hand all these lovely things out. And she was like, thank you so much. And I was like,
so that was really good. So yeah, you're right, quite right, Sandra. You could fasten like a small punch to the end of a hammer, absolutely, but also you can do it with a doming punch. Sorry, Louise, I interrupted.
That's all right. Ricky would like to know, how do you solder?
Yeah, solder.
I'm going to start saying it the American way to wind you up. Solder. How do you solder ring setting prongs one at a time or all at once? Unless I've got that completely wrong and it's not solder or solder or...
It would be, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just trying to find the wedding bands actually to try and show you. I can't find. How would you do it? You would, to make life easier, I would, if you're at if you're a member of At the Bench, you'll notice that of the last month before, we were making up so like bezel settings, but we were putting claws on them. And whereas when we had the bezel that was like this, okay, we wanted to put claws on them. The easiest way is to solder them all on together, but join them together. So we had a piece of wire, and we simply did the piece of wire and we soldered it here. So it's like a cross section, okay? Then we bent the legs up like that. We bent the legs up, yep, bent the legs up like that, and this one goes up. Okay, so it's like a dead spider, but with only 4 legs. Have you seen the spider? Yeah. So that's how the spider is. It's got 4 legs. Mine has. Okay. Then you can turn that upside down and solder it so it's like that. Is that Grace saying, "Dad, don't be so silly"?
Not yet.
Okay, and then you do it that, you turn it over the other way, and then you can solder. Then you come along and go snip, 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 take off this area, and you've got your 4 claws. So try and solder them all together rather than coming along and soldering one, then soldering another, then soldering another, and soldering another. But do that, and it's going to make life so much easier for you.
Okay.
Yeah, next question.
Ready?
Yeah.
Janet is asking, has anyone tried to knit with silver? Mine looks like a washed up fishing net so far. My actual knitting looks like that. 8 stitches and 8 rows. Wow.
Oh, I tell you, yes. I haven't tried knitting, although I was a whiz knitting tea cozies when I was a kid. But in fact, in that cupboard by there, I have. You're never going to find it, Louise. Don't know. Seriously, you're never going to find it.
It's going to jump out of there.
Mrs. Lloyd, yeah. So what? Do you remember the when you were a kid? Right, you used to get like a cotton reel, yeah, and it had a hole in the middle, and you put 5 pins.
What was it called? A bobbin?
Like a bobbin. You used to put 5 pins, yep, and then you used to get the wire and go on the outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, yep, and then you. As there's 5, they're odd numbers. When you come round again, it goes outside. Then you pull the ones that are inside. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I've got that to do. You need really, really thin wire, and it's called, the Vikings used to use it. There's lots of jewellery out there making that, and you end up then with a tube of all like crocheted. Can't remember what it's called. I'm sure someone was mentioned in the chat here. And you just do that, and you go round and round and round, and then you unpick it, don't you? French knitting. That's it. Well done, Louise.
Louise knew something.
Well done, Louise. So French knitting, and you'll then have a tube. It's very flexible. You can make it nice and even by passing it through a drawer plate if you wanted to. Make it nice and round, but that is something that I have still yet to do. I bought the plastic bobbin years ago and never got round to it. Fancy having a go, Louise?
I'll have a go, yeah. I'll give it a whirl.
Excellent, we'll do that, shall we?
Excellent. That's the second time you've done Mr. Boons today.
Right. Excellent.
Janet, send me a picture. I'd love to see.
Knitting, yeah. That's awesome knitting though, isn't it? they used to do evening bags knitted with that sort of look.
Oh, okay.
As well, and then
nice.
line them with silk. Next question, please.
Sean, I am so sorry. It looks like I missed your question. Thank you, Susan, for letting me know. Could you tell me the best way to reset a missing stone in an old bead star setting where the beads are no longer there, best tool, etc.?
Okay, so what you want to do is cut new beads in between what you've got there already. So say you've got your star shape like this, yep, and perhaps you've got your stone here, and perhaps these little beads have been raised here, for instance, okay, but they've got lost and they then have become worn, or you've got to take the stone out, or the stone's been lost and you've got to cut new beads. You would then raise new beads from the sides here. Okay, so there's the new beads coming over, and that's the way that I would do it. If you've done that, or that is already done, like that, and the so there's your hole, and say the star shape is actually looking like this and there are still no beads, what I've been trying to do is come back a little bit further and cut them again a little bit further back and a little bit deeper. So from the side view, you've got the stone hole that looks like that. The original beads would have been quite shallow like this, where it's been cut in, and then that then is the bead that comes over that's been forced over, okay? But if that is missing, I would then go a little bit further out and start to cut in a little bit deeper. So you've got this metal here then that is curled up, that rolls up onto the edge. And that would be the best way to keep in your stone on a star setting that's just worn. You don't really want to, you could even, I suppose, come along and do another little grain here as well and make a bit of a feature with that if you wanted to. And again, if you didn't want to put any more on the outside, you could just put your graver in and push it over with perhaps an onglet or a knife edge graver and push in, and that then will raise the bead as well. So just either put new star shape in place or go over the old ones a little bit deeper to ease it over, and that would be your best way to do that. Next question, please, Maria.
Janet's making a pendant with tiny fish attached to it for a birthday present. Oh,
that's
how
lovely.
Yeah, please do put a photo of it in the
us a
members
picture.
gallery. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Lush.
Nice.
Every time you say onglet, I think omelette, and it's making me hungry.
Omelette. I've got this very sharp omelette. It needs...
Okay. Stephen is a wire wrapper incorporating fabrications and bench jeweler techniques into that world. Been turning so many people onto your channel after the no solder prong tutorial.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow,
cool.
Thank you. Awesome. Susan gave away her adjustable saw frame. We'll go back over that road. Therese Marie, I was trying to anneal a 1 by 1 inch squared piece of 20 gauge silver and overheated it too quickly. Can it be saved?
In what way have you overheated it? Have you melted it? In theory, it's going to be hard to overheat something like that. I wouldn't worry too much. If you've melted it, hammer it, roll it out to make it to that shape again. But I wouldn't worry about if you've overheated it. It's not going to matter too much. If you've got a big piece, you may actually overheat it, but I wouldn't worry too much. It's not going to affect the properties too much of the metal, especially with a small little piece of metal like that. I wouldn't worry. Just crack on and do what you need to do with it. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, I should say, let me have next question.
No, that's okay. No, you stop talking. That's clue enough for me, isn't it? Nikki had to make a rosary with beads and couldn't solder any part because of the beads. Was I doing it right, or is there a trick I could have used? If you can't solder, make the links thick enough that they're not going to move. Paste. Has this been a bit of paste chat?
I'm glad I haven't seen it.
I know, I'm glad you haven't seen it.
I'm glad Haven't seen the paste chat.
But in a situation like that where you can't
solder because in that case you can't solder.
But can you?
So,
right, okay.
No, you can't use paste because you need the heat to solder.
Would you still need the same amount of heat though? Okay.
Okay, so I wouldn't use paste. What I would do is perhaps use a thicker gauge wire that is a little bit harder to bend, and perhaps you could even make the rings double, like a split link, so they just don't do that. They start here and they go round and around again. So you have a double loop on a jump ring, and then you almost like, like you've got, your keys, isn't it? The keys, these sort of split links that you've got on your key rings. If you do that, I know you're going to use twice the amount of metal, but at least the link's going to be nice and secure, and you can thread them all the way through. And you can make a bit of a feature of that, and that'd be the other way. Or buy yourself a puck or an Orion welder, and you can puck them closed. But that's, thousands of pounds.
Can't seem to anneal the silver again. The silver is hard. Sorry, that's gone back to...
If it's only a small piece, I wouldn't have thought it would matter too much.
Can't seem to anneal silver again. Why would it go like that?
I don't know. Perhaps just heat it up gently at a very, very low heat. Let it cool naturally. Pop it into the acid and then perhaps try again. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. I want to see all these pieces. I want to see the rosary as well.
Be nice, wouldn't it? We're talking, I can just see on there now, we're talking about engraving. Tom, negotiator, said, what's the best way of starting engraving? Just buy some basic engravers, basic gravings like that. Buy a few handles, buy a few gravers. Make the gravers the correct shape and just practice with an oil stone to sharpen the faces. That's the best thing. That's going to be the cheapest way of doing it. So GRS do produce the gravers that go into the handles, into the little removable chucks. That you can use, and they're usually pre-cut, pre-shaped. You can buy them from GRS. I think Steve Satow just said, I like the GRS pre-trimmed engravers, so much less trimming down and business. Exactly, they're pre-done for you. There's no messing about. They are a little bit more expensive, and you have to put them into a handpiece. You can buy the handle that accepts some thermo lock, so you can warm it up and push the graver into the end of the handle that has a thermal lock that will lock it in place, or you can buy the little collets that the gravers go in. You tighten them with the little Allen key, and then those quick release collets then go into a handle. That'd be the best way of doing it. Sorry, Louise, maybe have the next question, please.
Okay, Marcia is asking, when you were first starting out, did you ever mess up so bad that you felt like changing careers?
I think there are times when you start, you do have a few mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes can be costly. But if you're making up pieces for yourself, I don't think you've got a problem. It's when you're when you're repairing pieces that aren't yours that you mess up, that you have to put right. So I think, we've melted a shank every now and again accidentally, too much heat, or it's a hollow shank and it's melted, so you've got to cut that off and put a fresh bit of metal in place. So all these things happen. Making something, I'm sure we've done it lots of times where we've making up something. Oh, hang on a second. Luke, you came downstairs, I need something, I haven't got any. Do you want to just pop them downstairs? Yeah? I'll turn them back. Okay. Right, so I think there is a time, or do I? That I have messed up. But the good thing with precious metals is the fact that, where's my key? There, on the floor. There, I'm going to get mask. It's okay, there we go, there's two there. So that you can reuse the metal, so you haven't really messed up an awful lot. You can reuse the metal, whether it goes in your scrap, you can use the metal. Perhaps you've got a wide bit of metal, you've melted an edge, you can always cut that piece off and reuse it. So there is not a particular moment where I thought, oh my gosh, I've messed something up, I really want to give up, because I love what I do, so I don't feel that, I think if you give up, it's not the right attitude to have. Mistakes are going to be made. You're going to melt things. Some chains are going to get caught in the polishing mops. They're going to rip. They're going to stretch. You have to replace them. But there's always a way out. And if you're working on a piece and it's a customer's piece, then just apologise and say, I'm awfully sorry. I will replace it. That was Louise coming up the stairs. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. When you mess up, you just learned what not to do. Exactly, Tom. That's exactly the right thing. And to be honest, you don't really mess up. It's just an experience. It's a learning experience. You just learn not to do it again, unless your name is Jason, and you'll never learn. But that's another story. Nikki, your internet is slow. Sorry about that. Messing up with the customer piece of jewellery. I suppose I have messed up, and I think all of us would be lying if we said we've never messed up, but I've never come to that stage where I feel that I want to give up. Yeah, sure, I'll go home thinking I haven't had a very good day, it hasn't gone my right way, I'm just going to have a break, I'm going to go out for a walk. And sometimes if I'm working, I haven't done it recently because Louise has been a really, really good influence on us all, haven't you? You've been a good influence on us all, keeping us all on track, all focused. But sometimes if you're working on a piece, something isn't going right, the shank isn't soldering, you think you may be messing up, you stop, you take your shoe off, you throw it in your tray, you pick it back out your tray, put it on, and go out for a walk. And I think that is what myself and Colin, the guy who was employing beforehand, we used to do. If something's not going right and something's, instead of shouting and arguing, just to stop, shoe off, chuck it in your tray, sit back, take it out of your tray, that's a fantastic release, put it back on and just go out for a walk. Don't say anything to anybody, just go out for a walk, and 10-15 minutes later you come back in, you've got your anger out, you've had a walk around, you've come back, and perhaps you've been sat there like this too long. Yeah, a little break from the bench, whether it be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, go and have a coffee, ring up a mate, go and have a cake, go home, or whatever it is, but have a little break, come back to it, and you'll see it in a different light.
But also, I think share the experience as well. Come on here and have a chat.
Yeah, tell us what's happened.
Because other people will be having the same experiences, and other people will avoid making the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not mistakes, because
every situation is different, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, just share it, and then because everybody's got so much to give, haven't they, and so much advice to share. So it's always worth.
And if you're on the forum, on the At the Bench forum, talk about it in there, mention it in there, and let one of us just come along and say, don't worry, it'll all be fine in the end, it all works out, and it always does work out. Perhaps we've melted something, we've had to recast something, we've melted a customer's watch links, we've had to recast them and so forth. So things do happen, you just have to just stop, assess the situation, what can I do to rectify what I've done? Then think, what can I do not to do that again? I think if you understand what you've done, the reason why you've done it, you won't be doing it again.
And sometimes it's tiredness, isn't it? Like you say, you just need to close the door on it, go home, come back the next day and just go, okay, and then you feel completely different about it. Yeah,
and sometimes change the music. Put different music on. Perhaps the book that you're listening to is not the right book and you're getting a bit tense, it's a thriller, it's whatever. Just change the music, and that sounds so stupid. Have a cup of tea. Go and have a milkshake. Go and have something that's different that will change the way you look. Change the way you look.
Change the way you look.
Chuck it all over your face.
A bit dramatic.
Change the way you are feeling at that precise moment in time.
And that feels negative, but it's not, is it? Because like everyone's saying, it's learning opportunities, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Do or do not.
It's May the 4th, isn't it?
There is no try, is it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Louise. What you're on about?
So just go into it with the attitude that I'm going to do it.
You're going to do
it,
yes.
If it doesn't work out how you thought you were going to do it, you've still done it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I quite
and you've learned something.
Because Jason doesn't like doing certain like platinum or whatever, but he hasn't had enough experience doing it, and you're never going to get it right if you don't do it. What's you laughing at now?
I'm off to have a milkshake. Andrew told me I have to. Yeah, I'm going to try that one with a cake. Yeah.
Go on, next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong page now.
Is everything okay downstairs?
It was a delivery which they wanted ID for.
One Sharon didn't pass.
She didn't have any ID. True. God, she didn't have any ID. Yeah, it was for something for later in the week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can't believe you. How far did we get? Sorry, I just had to run downstairs.
My macaroni necklace got eaten. Yeah, exactly. Yoda's wisdom.
Okay. How easy is it to melt down an adjustable soldering? So I didn't read till the end then.
Lulled you into that one, Louise. Don't start.
Okay. What is the steamer used for?
The steamer is brilliant. It's like a cappuccino you see in like a Starbucks or whatever. It's just compressed. It's boiling water. Obviously, if you have water under pressure, it boils at a higher temperature. The steam then comes in a chamber. You push a pedal, the steam comes out of a little nozzle. The steam is obviously not melting point, boiling point, and it will get rid of any dirt and crud that is stuck behind the stones and all the little crevices. Perhaps you've been doing some polishing and there's some dirt. Ultrasonic will get rid of it. I totally agree with you, but a steamer gets rid of it all quicker and faster. We love our steam cleaner. And your diamonds come up absolutely amazing with the steam cleaner. Literally in seconds, don't they?
Lovely. Maybe a group can be made on Discord for everyone to communicate and bounce ideas off. And we do actually have on the forum, thinking about it, a section for, I can't remember what we've called it, but it's basically, how can I fix this? Yeah. What's it called?
Don't know. I don't know.
No, it's a section for things that go wrong. And
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good resource as well. Yeah. Yeah. Because someone will come along and go, oh, I know how to fix that, and I know how to avoid it. Yeah. Okay. Not me though, because I don't know. But
you're getting there.
I know about business management. That's it. Okay. So Sam is saying, I've been working on a cuff with a large stone bezel set, but because the stone sits right on the curve of the cuff, it won't fit completely in the bezel cut. Help.
You could grind the back of the stone, just so it matches the curvature, or just take away some of that curvature. So yeah, I know what you mean. The bezel, or the curve of the cuff is like that. You've got the bezel that goes on here, and the stone won't quite fit in the bezel because you've got the curve. But if you could just grind the bottom bit of the stone away, it will sit lower, and that should work. And you can grind stones really, really easily with a simple attachment that goes in your flex shaft, a grinding stone, grinding wheel that you can just remove that off. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to go and grab something.
Yeah, and that is what you could do when it comes to that. Failing that, use a thicker, higher bezel, absolutely. But definitely you could grind away the underside of the cabochon, and no one's going to know that, because if it's an opaque one, you're not going to be able to see through it. All right. How about that?
BMX, has anyone made an eye ring yet? No, but I have ordered these. Wait for it. How does that look? Pretty?
Go down. Go down. Ooh.
I have ordered these, and I'm not quite sure. I expected it to be a sphere, so I don't really know. That looks funny. I don't really know. Thing is, if you put them together, it's still not a sphere, and what we want is for it to ideally rock. So I'd like it to
move around.
See, I'm just designing this. I'm not going to make it, am I? So I want it to just go that way, side to side, and I want like eyelid bezel. Eyelid bezel, eyelid bezel to go. So just so that when you move, so it does actually need probably. Would it need a ball bearing in there? A little bearing to make it rock. It would need a counterweight, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's like the dolls. You lay them down, they go to sleep, and they wake up.
I wear it with my tooth ring, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, going back to that, yeah, if you're grinding stones, always use water, not necessarily as a lubricant, but to cut down on the dust, to keep so you don't breathe it in, and also wear eye protection, and also a mask as well to keep the dust out of your lungs. But yeah, so we've ordered these. We ordered these from a company in North Wales called glasseyes.com.
Yeah. Julie, thank you so much for the...
Yeah. And we've also ordered some cat size as well, didn't we? And
Yes,
they were
the
a lot
cat size are a
smaller.
bit smaller than I thought. I expected these to be a little bit bigger, but I don't really know how big. Because once you put the bezel, the eyelid, it's going to be silver. No, it's not going to be made of eyelid. But, what?
Eyelid, real flesh? No, perhaps not, no. Taxidermy? Do they sell eyelids? I don't know. Anyway,
It's getting a bit macabre.
sorry, okay, next question.
When does Andrew find time to make that? Well, he won't really do it in reality. I'm going to have to get someone else to make it for me. Mini bearings. Cool. I mean, that idea just came to me then, about having a bearing in it. But you only want it to rock in one way. You don't want it to Google around like that. It would look silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think the dolls are weighted. Obviously, there's like an axis going through the eye, and obviously the bottom of the eye is weighted, so it always stays downwards, doesn't it? So when the baby lies down, yeah, it goes down. But when it comes up, I don't know. I'm just talking rubbish now.
That's just the eyelid, isn't it? I don't know.
Yes, you're right. Next question then, please, Louise.
Eye cufflinks. Oh, cool. Okay, I need to put these down
Wax
now.
rings, embedded gemstones tutorial. Do you want it to be lost wax cast, or do you want it to be sand cast? Because we've done a sand casting tutorial on At the Bench using natural and real sapphires and rubies, and we have cast around them using sand casting. So we've done that one already. If you're a member of At the Bench, check that out. And if you're not a member of At the Bench, why not? And talking of At the Bench, if you're a member of At the Bench, or even if you're not a member of At the Bench,
oh no,
yeah,
what are you going to say?
Yeah, now is a good time to join. Why, you may be asking? Well, we are going to be offering 12 chances to win something. We have got over £3,500 worth of prizes to give away. They're ranging anything from £100 to about £500, aren't we, Louise?
Yes.
Yes, we are. So all you're going to need to do is just be a member of At the Bench, and every month, this is so new, we've just did this over the weekend. We've got no graphics. You're the first people to know exactly what's going on. It's not mentioned on the website yet, although it will be on the forum tonight. It will be, we're doing the graphics for it. Also, you, if you're a member of At the Bench, you have got a chance of winning anything from, I wanted bench aprons, but Louise said, don't be so stupid. Nobody wants an apron, and it's only worth 30 quid. So I'm not doing aprons, are we now? You went
We've
first,
got some really exciting prizes. We've got some amazing Durston stuff.
We got Durston disc cutters, Durston doming punches. Again, we've got things like the Fordham pendant motors. We've got GRS Benchmates. We've got lights from Durston. We've got a lot from Durston to give away. So that's absolutely brilliant.
Best one,
and the best one is an hour.
This was my idea, so you've got me to thank for this, guys.
This is Louise's idea, which is what?
It is an hour's private lesson via Zoom with Andrew. So you have an exclusive hour where you can ask anything you like to do with jewellery making, advice, pick his brains, basically an hour's lesson.
Chat about
just to yourself.
To jewellery, whether it be marketing, techniques, tools, soldering,
you get a
bezel
lesson.
setting, whatever it is. I think Cecil's asked there, is it UK only? No, it's around the whole wide world.
Yeah, so you guys are everywhere, so
no matter where you are, the manufacturers will post them out to you. You love your apron. I know, I love my aprons too. I don't think we're going to be giving away rolling mills as such, although perhaps we could wangle one.
Well, I think we need to save that for the 12 hour.
Yeah, we'll save that for the 12 hour, I think. So don't forget, we're still doing our 12 hours marathons. But yeah, £3,500 worth of prizes. And the best thing is, you don't have to do anything to win. except be a paid member of At the Bench. So we know how busy everybody is. Everybody's busy creating work. Everybody's doing designs for their clients and stock and so forth. So we're not going to say, make us an eye ring this month and we want the best one to win.
Well, if anybody does want to make an eye ring,
if anybody wants
I'd be happy to judge them. Because, anyway, but you don't have to.
But you don't have to make anything. You don't have to do anything. We're not going to ask you to jump through hoops just to try and win a prize. Purely being a member of At the Bench, paid member, is all you have to do. And you could win your membership back. You could join for a month and you could win a £100, £200, £500 piece of equipment.
So that's going to be going for the next 12 months.
That'll be starting next month.
Yeah.
And that will go for 12 months. Say £3.5 grand worth of tools, literally to give away. So you don't have to do anything. We're not asking you to make anything because you're busy enough as it is. We're not going to ask you to do anything at all. We're not going to ask you to do anything like shares or likes or anything like that.
It's lovely to have a share is a K.
A share is a
share is a K. So yeah, you can share, but you don't have to.
You don't have to, because the problem is people's settings on Instagram, people's settings on Facebook may be restricted. And if you say you've got to share it on Facebook and people don't have Facebook, well, then that's limiting them. Their profiles may be private, may be personal, not public. And if you do ask them to share, and it's all to do with shares, but then you've got a problem because those people are not going to win. So we want to make it as simple as possible. We're not asking you to do a thing. Be a paid member of At the Bench, and every month we will draw out one name that which way will have a choice of winning 1, 2 or 3 prizes. Instead of just the one, we may say you're going to have, a disc cutter, a doming set, flex shaft. Which one do you want to win? Which one do you want, and so forth.
All right, Maverick.
It's as simple as that, okay? Cookie, the like button, I'm not quite sure where the like buttons are, but they're usually underneath.
Yeah, the likes are going up, thank you guys. I can see it on...
Yeah.
I can't see it on my login though.
Yeah, where's that button, Steve?
They are counting up your likes, so please keep liking. Thank you.
Don't tell Tapper, they will come and find you. So we're not asking you for anything. We're not asking you to fill out a form or give us your name or any information at all. We want to make it as simple. Everybody is busy enough in their lives without being asked to do this, to do that, to do that, to do that, to do that, to do this, to jump through hoops just to try and win a prize. And that's not fair. Any paid member can win a prize. I don't know what else to say, Louise. What else can we say about that?
I think I'm just super excited to start
doing it, yeah. That's all you got to do. And we will literally just pick out one person. And you will have a month to claim that prize. And if you don't claim that prize, it will roll over then to the next month. And we will then give 2 people the option of winning.
You'll be emailed, we will contact you.
Yeah, you'll be emailed. You'll be emailed. And if you don't collect it or you don't acknowledge it within a month, it'll pass on to the next month, and then there'll be 2 people and so forth. Yes,
I think
absolutely.
That's fair. Otherwise, we're going to have unclaimed prizes, and
it's unfair, then, isn't it? And there has to be a time limit as well on it.
Yeah, I think so.
And can you solder sterling onto 999? Yes, you can. Romeo, I've sent you a picture of the cuff I crocheted.
Oh,
cool.
fabulous!
Have to look out for
Thanks,
that.
I'm going to have a look. Yeah.
Excellent. And I think that's going to be about it, Louise, because it is now 5:20. We've been on here for just over an hour. It'd be really, really good again. Lots and lots of questions. I got some things to sort out. The YouTube ads on All That Glitters and the scratch toe pouch. Need we say any more?
We were talking about a Q&A special on burrs as well, weren't we?
Yes.
So we need to get in touch with
Birch and Comet.
So we're going to do that.
To try and get some burrs from them to do that. Don't forget, tonight, if you're in the UK, All That Glitters airs on Tuesdays, 8 p.m, BBC Two. Don't forget, because tomorrow at 6 p.m, we'll be coming live, the day after party chat, all about the All That Glitters that is going on tonight. We are going to have some pictures of the pieces that are going to be on tonight, because somebody said, and I quite agree, we missed a bit of a trick there, so thank you very much for you. Can, when we're discussing the pieces, actually have the pieces on the screen as we are discussing it? And yes, we will certainly do that by all means.
Good idea, yeah.
So don't forget All That Glitters. Who's going to go out? I don't want anybody to go out. I wish everybody could stay in because Naomi makes some fantastic pieces. She posts them on Instagram. I didn't want her to go out. She's so good. I didn't want...
She's such a sweetheart, isn't
she is. I didn't want Nicola to go out at all. Didn't want her to go out. I didn't want Kim to go out because she did some brilliant floral and flower designs as well. So I don't want anybody to go out, but unfortunately somebody does.
I don't want it to end.
No, I don't want it to end either. The kit is really good. And the way we've been interviewing the participants, the contestants, they're really lovely people, and they have all said that it's been an amazing experience for them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Their approach to it has been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't forget, go on, Louise, what is it? When is it, Louise? BBC
Two's All That Glitters is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and is available to watch on BBC iPlayer. So don't forget, you can watch All That Glitters, and we'll be on tomorrow night 6 p.m. to have a chat about All That Glitters. We have been lucky enough to put some links to All That Glitters on the chat. Look out for it in some of the Facebook groups if there's any links to it. We're not going to be trying to find them anymore. But if you find links to any of the All That Glitters programs, you can put them in the Facebook groups. There's a couple of Facebook groups that are going around, the All That Glitters discussion group and the All That Glitters Makers Challenge. They should be in your stream deck, I think, as well, Louise. Yeah. Yep, I will post them now. Somebody's just asking me for... Oh, no, I didn't want that.
Oh, don't want that.
Clicked on the wrong thing. No.
Watch a demo. What you after?
That.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. Sorry.
It's okay.
You can just keep talking amongst yourself.
But I couldn't see the screen just then because you're using that computer there. Thank you. There we go.
There you go. That's that then.
Great string. It's always amazing how Andrew can answer a simple question with an interesting, educative story. Or
doing an impression of a dead spider with 4 legs.
You get the general gist of the idea. It's what it's all about. It is. Thank you, Shirley, for that. It's very kind. Thank you very much. It's all about enthusiasm, isn't it? I think if the person who's talking is enthusiastic, it really comes across, and hopefully then you'll be inspired and to go on and do better things and greater things.
We're always here, aren't we?
Always here for a chat. Don't forget, if you're a member of At The Bench, there's a forum. Come on, introduce yourself. If you have any problems, please post on there. Louise and I are on there as often as we possibly can, aren't we?
The thing is, we, as a paid member as well, you have access to direct help and advice on projects and techniques directly with Andrew. So, we do our hour now, which is great, but we don't generally give the same level of advice to people who aren't members, only because we have to be fair and prioritise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Advice, bespoke advice, direct advice. So, but we will help out wherever we can. Yeah,
and if you're a member of At The Bench and you want some help from me, what you've got to do first of all is on the right hand side of the screen you've got your project area. So on the right hand side down here, this is black. Your little woo! Thank you, Steve. Woo! Thank you. I haven't got it plugged in today.
I brought the lights. No, I didn't.
They're not really showing up today. Steve, appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. So on the members area, go to your dashboard. Down here, you'd have a members area, members dashboard. You come down here, project area. Go click on the project area. You create a project. You're making a ring, for instance. Call it, gorgeous ring, problem ring, whatever, soldering problems. Make a project. In that project, you can upload your images, and from that project folder, then you can have direct feedback with me, but you have to be able to make your project first before then you then ask me a question, so I know then what you are going to be talking about. And you can upload photographs, upload images, and you can sort of email, it's not an email, you send a message directly to me on the feedback form, and then I can reply directly to you. And as Louise said, we prioritise that over somebody who just comes on and just wants a bit of advice.
Which is fine. We will help as much as we can, but we have to get through the members first.
People who are actually paid members first, absolutely. There we go. So what does it cost in US dollars? £20 a month. Hang on a second. I'll ask Siri. What is £20 sterling in American dollars? Oh, $27 for a month. What is £180 sterling in dollars? Or $249 for a year? It's as simple as that.
For the first year.
For the first year. If you continue being a member, it is then only £99. What's £99 sterling in dollars? That's only $137. Wow. So think about it. If you stay a member for 2 years, just think how much money you save, because when you join for the second year or renew for the second year, you don't have to pay the full price again. It is literally half price to join.
It's like a maintenance.
It is, yeah, because because at the end of the day, you're part of the At the Bench family, and we want to reward you by
giving you free stuff.
By giving you free stuff and for being loyal as well. So we're not the sort of people that come along and it's, $249 every year regardless. No, the next year it is going to be less. I'm going now.
Romy, can I send Janet? Can I send Janet your photo? Is that what you want me to do? Because I can do that. But Janet, you'll have to email me as well, your email address. It's louise@andrewberry.co.uk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you so much indeed, everybody,
Fabulous.
for coming on today. And apologise I'm not sat at the bench, but I didn't want to... Annie, thank you. Woo. You can't.
I'm going to break these lights.
You can't see the lights on this.
Oh, okay. Should have told me earlier. Thank you so
Annie.
much
Really
for all of the
appreciate
lovely feedback as well. You guys are awesome. Is it true that if you're paying by the month, the second half price? Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I have to check the...
Oh.
Yeah, have to check the emails that come through. Have to check.
So if you pay for a year monthly, can you have the second? I think you'd have to have this. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what the emails say now. So we'll have to double check on that, won't we?
Okay. Yeah. Send me an email, guys, and I can sort that out. I'm not really sure which way it's going, but let me know, and I'll certainly do that.
Yes. Good, everyone. Thank you so much indeed. I'll flash my lights, my new job. Thank you. So don't forget, 6 p.m. tomorrow night, again here on YouTube for the All That Glitters after show, the day after show party, for a chat about what happens tonight.
I'm excited for tonight.
I am me. It's nice,
It's
isn't
gold
it?
night, isn't it?
It's gold night. We were told today it is gold night by tomorrow. It's gold night. So look out for a few things happening tonight, isn't it? It's gold. It's going to be golden. You're more than welcome, Jules. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Cookie, Dana, Romy, Trevor, Annie, Sam. You are all lovely, lovely people. Please hit the like. Thank you, Tom, for that. Really do appreciate it. Give us some thumbs up.
You can't see the likes, but they are there. They are. I can see them here. They are going up.
Thank you very much indeed. We will see you tomorrow night. Thank you, Romy Berry. Excited about that. Looking forward to the chat tomorrow. Yep. We're going to be.
We'll get some photos. We'll get a bit more organised. You might have to do that because I'm on my own with Jason tomorrow, aren't I, in the shop? You are. Good luck to you with that. And we'll get some images to put on the screen when we're chatting about the items tomorrow. Yeah.
That's it. So don't forget, we got a new employee coming. His name's Lee. All the Glitters.
You might know him.
You might know him. Yeah, absolutely. And also we're going to have all these prizes just to give away. La ultrasonic. La.
Really? An ultrasonic?
Oh, why not? It's an ultrasonic.
Oh, yes.
Let's just, I guess, give away an ultrasonic, shall we? And not obviously a nice heated one.
Should we come up with a schedule then?
I think we should, yes.
We need a schedule so that people know what...
Free ultrasonics, free pendant motors, free doming punches, free disc cutters.
Okay, well,
free
let's
GRS,
get it all
free
formalised
this, that,
in
free
a schedule.
bench fight. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Maybe you can look at that tomorrow when you're off.
I'm not off, I'm working.
Working from garden.
I do have to get that bench across tomorrow, so I do have to
across
do
where?
that. Across to here to film.
Oh, what are they today?
I got to shift the television, the chairs. I don't know what goes into this. This is only a small little room. I want a huge room that we can have layouts Nice area over there for the interview section. Nice area over here for the forming. Nice area over here with the bench. I want to have a bigger place.
Did you get your 3 holidays in May? Yes, I did. Thank you, Gillian. Yes, I'm...
I still haven't seen the Victoria holiday. I still haven't seen that one.
Oh, and we've booked a week away.
Oh, we have. We've booked a week away.
Yeah, so we're going to have a holiday.
In September. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Anyway,
we're going. Yep.
That's it.
Anything else you want to say, Louise?
No, I don't think so.
That's about it. You're getting palpitations. Yes, it's going to be good tonight.
It's going to be good.
Right. Everyone, take care. We will see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. for the All That Glitters the day after party. Don't forget, watch tonight. Louise, say it again.
BBC Two's All That Glitters is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and is available to watch on BBC iPlayer.
Everyone, take care. I'm going to fade to black. So
I was going to say, I was getting the slide ready and there's no blooming slide.
No blooming slide. I'm going to FTB, fade to black, and we will see you 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Everyone, take care. You've been, as what the saying say, you've been absolute legends. Well, that sounded a bit more like Danny Dyer, didn't it? Yeah, you've been absolute legends.
Start your impressions
All right,
again.
everyone, tomorrow night, we will catch you 6 p.m. Take care. Louise, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See you. Bye.